All right, so we're now recording. So here's what Asana can do for you. Part of what we do and help clients with is to document their processes. So when you document a process, what is that? It's kind of like sometimes it can turn into a checklist of something that we need to follow. So when you look at a process that swims from department to department or person to person, and it becomes a list of tasks that need to get done, we want to make those repeatable every time. We want them done the same way. We want everyone to follow it and everyone to know where we're at. So
Absolutely.
Asana can take that. So let's just, for instance, look at a closing process. So a closing process will start the minute we get a contract. So so this is just a suggestion. This is not anyone's personal process. This is just kind of my thought process as to what you would do if you were in the closing position. So,
Right. Okay.
so to line that up as to what to do, when to do it, in the order with which to get it done. So the beautiful thing about Asana is every time I get a property under contract, these same steps need to be taken. So
Right.
now all I got to do is duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate it, and it's going to become, I already have a 123 Main Street, so let's do a 987 Wabash. I have no idea where that comes from. But here's the 987 Wabash closing process. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project. It's going to show up down here. And now it kicks off all of the tasks in the order with which to do them. If I had already specifically assigned each task to a person, it would also stay assigned. So let me point that out real quick. So if I go back to duplicate, I can right here click assignee, and I can keep it assigned to the same person. So now you know who's responsible, exactly what they need to do, the order with which they need to do it in, and then you can also go back and set due dates. So let's go
Okay.
back to that project. Here's the 987 Wabash. So we can look at this, and over here it's got the due dates that we want to jump in and add. So what we would highly recommend is when documenting those processes, if we need to review the contract, let's set a standard with which the time frame we need to review that in. So review contract, you might put next to that within for 4 hours. Whenever we talk in hours, we also talk in business hours. So that means like if someone got a contract at 4 o'clock that day, they have until 12 o'clock the next day to complete that part of this task. So if we went ahead and set the
Okay.
standards in each of these tasks, you could easily set the due dates every time you go to repeat this task. That makes sense? I run through this really fast sometimes. So
No, yeah, that definitely makes sense. So let me ask you this: in let's say like review contract or for any individual step, are you able to have like an outline for that step or a video or training or anything like that that kind of goes over what you should be doing in that?
absolutely. So if I click on the actual task itself, it allows you to put any description you want here. You could actually then create a video that says, here's what you're looking for at the contract. You could actually upload the actual contract that's signed right here.
Very cool.
So all of that could be housed here. The video, so typically Asana will allow like 100 megabyte video, so it's not very large. But all training videos, if you store those in YouTube unlisted and just have the link right here, every
Right.
time you duplicate that process, all of that data and all of the description stays together. So it's
Okay.
like they would
Cool.
always have at their fingertips how to do that if they had a question. So yes, especially when you're like wanting to train someone, if you already had the steps outlined and exactly what those steps are, a video training them how to do it, the minute you hire someone for TC, it's almost, here you go, this is what you're doing.
Yeah, it's dummy proof, which is
Yeah.
what you got to have every single process in a business be like. So I love that.
So then we take it a step further, because typically most visionaries or even maybe the sales manager who wants to help run and make sure closings are happening, but they don't want to get into the details of exactly what's going on. So you
Right.
would need to duplicate this project for every property you have under closing. That's a lot to have to manage and have to look at. So Asana also allows you to look at things differently. So I have a closing status board that I would then typically list every property under a closing status and link the actual task list to it. So if I click on here, it takes you to the full TC task list, but from here I can manage every property and what phase it's at. So what's cool about Asana is I can literally drag and drop it to the next phase. I can drag and drop it to so you at a glance could see every project under contract and where it's at, what the status of it is. So again, this is just a suggested template of how you could set that up, what that could look like. But you would just drag and drop it. So your TC would be in charge of keeping this updated, but you as the sales manager, the visionary, the integrator, whatever role you're filling, could oversee it and understand and have a pulse on what's going on with every property, which is awesome.
Yeah. So in our weekly meetings, we've got obviously, you know, property updates on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So
Sure.
See the benefit of this, being able to come into Asana and literally see each stage of every property with updates and everything else regarding that property just with the click of a button. That's awesome.
Yeah. So another thing Asana does too that's really cool is we can specifically talk to people. So I know a lot of people use Slack. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a giant fan of it. Slack can get lost as to actually what we're talking about. Slack doesn't also then assign tasks, and it doesn't put due dates or reminders to say, hey, don't forget, I need you to do this.
Right.
So within Asana, I can right here ask somebody a question. So I could say, hey, at Gary, you know, is there an update? Is there any update? So what that does is it immediately notifies him in Asana that somebody asked him a question. So, but the beautiful thing is he knows what I'm talking about because it is attached to the task I'm specifically referring to. So it notifies him in Asana and sends him an email. So his email says, about 123 Main Street, Susan has a question. Here's her question. He can reply in his email, or he can open up an Asana and reply to that. When he replies, it stays down here, totally threaded, so you understand and see all of the conversation of what's happened within that same task. So that's why over Slack, I prefer, because that way you can keep track of it. Now, okay, let's put another task along with it. I can create a subtask, assign it to a person, and give it a due date. And now that immediately shows up on their task list of, hey, you've got to do this. Don't forget about it. So
okay.
That's a really cool feature I like. So that's one area with which I've used it. So let's look at like renovations. You can do the same thing. If you've set a standard scope of work. So again, this is just our opinion as to what a scope of work would look like. This was what should happen in the planning phase, what happens in week 1, week 2. I've got it all broken down into week 6. Or phase 6, phase 5, whatever you want to call this. But in our opinion, this is like a good standard scope of work. So if you could set what your standard typically looks like, and even though I might not be replacing exterior doors on the next project, just check mark it done so it goes away.
Right.
But have a standard so you don't miss it. You could, it's something you might look to be doing. So now, again, you're going to duplicate the project. And so look, I did that down here, 456 Main Street. Down here, so I copied the project, and then I also then copied it onto a renovation board. So now this renovation board, again, my project manager is dragging and dropping and updating each and every phase that I have. So again, as the overarching, owner of the business, I can look at everything and see what's going on. I can then, if I need to, dig down into it and look and see the specifics. Hey, what's going on right here in this? So another cool thing it allows us to do, because I actually have the paid version, so I pay $75 a month for Asana. But what that allows me to do is use a timeline. So it creates a Gantt chart for me. So what's really cool is I have all these unscheduled tasks over here. I know this is week 1, phase 1, so let's set a due date. That due date now needs to be done right here. If I know this has to be done before the next thing needs to be done, so let's switch those. Let's put that one up here. Let's put it, move it and move this one. And then this one can't get done. The bathrooms can't get done until the demo, bathroom can't get done until demo gets done. So I have made these, what is the word? Dependent on another. So I have to do this before I do this. So if
Right.
I've already set these due dates, let me move it so it doesn't turn it red, so it makes it look like it's undue. If I go back to the list of things, you can see I've made that dependent. So if this doesn't get done, it now pushes out the entire due date for the rest of the whole project. So you've created ultimately a Gantt chart just by dragging and dropping your tasks, putting them on a calendar to know the due date. Again, if I already had these assigned to the correct people, they would now be notified and tasked to get this done by this date. So you could easily manage all of your projects that way, which is super nice and convenient. So we can remove those dependents too, which I want to do because I don't need them on there.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
You bring up you're not a big fan of Slack, and I can definitely understand that. We use Slack quite a bit with ours just because we haven't found a communication software that can do it in the mass volume that we need it to with all the different channels and everything. And so inside Asana, I know with particular boards, obviously you can communicate with assignees, et cetera, but what does it look like for like individual or direct chats with somebody on your team inside of Asana? Are you able to do that as well?
I can start a conversation. It's typically specific on a task or a project, though.
Okay.
It is not just outside, it is not just there to
Okay.
have a private conversation.
And I'm assuming, because I was looking at some integrations with Zapier on Slack and Asana, and supposedly,
Yeah, I just haven't explored that, but I do know it's possible.
yeah, I know they can connect together. And so, like, anytime these due dates come up, you can put that into certain channels and kind of have them work simultaneously to make sure that you're moving in the right direction and the notifications, et cetera, aren't being missed. So it's a huge benefit.
No, I know there's a whole lot of automation that I'm missing, and I have not delved into it because at the moment I'm not running a project management company.
Right, absolutely. Just a demo on it. I get it.
Yeah, it definitely does do that. What else was it? The other thing too is it works really well as an app on your phone. So I can go straight to my app, pull up 456 Main Street. If I'm at 456 Main Street and I need to take a picture, I can take a picture through my app and immediately you'll see it on the see, I'm going to try and do it here, and it's not going to do it really fast right now, but that's because I'm sitting here at a hotel. So let's say I need to demo the bathroom and you want to see an updated picture as to what that looks like. I'm just going to take a photo, use photo, and I can send it. So as it uploads, it then will update the picture right here for us.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And it's not going to do it in a timely manner because I wanted to right now. But what did I have that under? Demo bathrooms should give us a photo. Yep, there you go. So
There we
that's the
go.
photo I just took on my phone. So if you got your field guy who needs to go do inspections or updates, hey, I'm just walking through updating this project. All of those pictures now stay with this project. There's no question, and it's they are not GPS tagged, which is sometimes a downfall because we've dealt with unethical project managers and unethical contractors. So that is not fun. But it at this point we've got, you can get the updates right in Asana and sitting in your living room if that's where you work.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Which is,
and again, then you can use that as a renovation board to keep track of every project going on. And at a glance, setting, what phase they're in and if you need more information, digging right into it, which is cool. So that's two different ways I've used Asana. Another cool way is they've got phenomenal, I guess you can create and design your own boards, your own list, or however you want to do that. So I've built out a trade list. So this trade list is really long and it's all custom. So it's literally whatever trade I decided to put in here is what was added to it. And obviously I'm joking with Charlie Sheen, but at some point your whole company, it might be nice for them to know if you have a contractor that is blacklisted that you never want to deal with. So, make sure we have that assigned to the company and the company knows and can see. But then if you open this, the detail can all be in here. So here's his mailing address, his phone number. I can upload his actual insurance form here. His W-9 can be uploaded here. We would suggest giving them a rating, which would then allow us to list him as blacklisted.
right. Very
and
cool.
then you can have this, look, you can sort it by trade. So now I know all HVAC guys, this is, this is everybody I've got, all the electrical guys, all the plumbing. So at any time you have an approved contractor available for someone to use. So it's just helping provide a list for things like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So let's see, what else do we do?
I see you have a level 10 in there as well.
I do. So we run our level 10s in and out of Asana. So I list and put the agenda here. Scorecard is typically a link to like an Excel or a Google Doc sheet, because there's not something I've found that can translate that into Asana real well. But typically it's just a Google Doc, and the link is housed here, which is nice. So then you can list everyone's rocks. Another cool thing it'll do is if you utilize what's called tags. So one of Gary's rocks is complete book. So I'll just put it in here and show you what it could look like. So then I can add a tag. So this is Gary Harper's Q1 rock. So if I listed all of Gary's rocks with a tag, I can sort and just pull up Gary's rocks.
So my question is, where do I pre-order?
My goal is it's done by December, so we'll see.
Nice. All right.
He does have one coming out, so
that's awesome.
So again, what's nice is tracking people's to-dos. We commit to so many things throughout the week that sometimes we're in the middle of a level 10, we forget what we committed to. So I'll show you my task list, but my task list is a lot of overdue stuff. So I know what I've committed to, and I have every project I am a part of, all of it feeds into my task list, which is so nice because I have other people on outside my weekly meeting that say, hey, I need this done. So honestly, I have all of my personal stuff in here. I have a family calendar in here. I have our grocery list. I have all of my bills in here. I have my housekeeper in here. I have everything I need to run my life in Asana. So I don't know what I would do without it. And then but again, it's telling me which project is assigning me that task. So which is really nice. Like, so here's my family calendar project. So for me, this is because I'm on the road a lot. I don't want to miss a birthday, an anniversary, or anything like that. So I've got set their birth dates. So the actual birth date is the 12th. I want to notify myself a week before, so I can use this address right here and send something through Amazon. So it's really nice. And then if I had an email and phone number for them, these guys are 8 and 9, so they're not going to have emails and phone numbers yet. Right. So this is another custom board I just built. And what's cool is this task is set to repeat every year. So as soon as I check mark it done, it becomes due again next year.
Next year, okay. So
it's always up to date, which is nice. Except I didn't check mark this one done because I did celebrate my parents' anniversary. They should be getting a card tomorrow, so I'm good.
There you go. Mark it on the list.
Yeah.
So with those, we have our level 10. We go out of a paper doc. So we have all of our level 10, our segue, to-do list, all that. And then from there, this just shows you the complexity of it. I mean, we need to focus more on simplicity, having it all centralized like this.
Yeah.
We take the to-dos that we create, obviously, from the IDS. And then from there, we have our VA transfer those to-dos over to monday.com and then assign them to us. And like you said, it's easier to get lost because it's not all in like one spot. It doesn't all like flow together. And so I can see how this can be really beneficial because your level 10's here, your to-dos are here. It's all just right there in front of you in one software.
So let's pretend the issue is simplicity. We're in the middle of a level 10. What are we going to do about it? Okay, well, let's switch to Asana, set up a template. So here's all the steps we need to do. Assign that who it's to, give it a due date, and now swim it over to the to-do list because it's done. I mean, it's, the steps are in place to get those done. So
right.
it really just simplifies the way you handle your task management. So then as an owner of the company, I can look at Gary's task list. Here's Gary. If I click on that, here's Gary's task list, what he needs to get done. And if I ever have a question, it's like, hey, Gary, why haven't we done this yet? Give me an update. Can you tell me what's going on? I can look at this as literally just a long task list or as a calendar view. So, hey, look, he looks like he has nothing to do right here. It's like, hey, can I move something that's overdue to this date to make sure he knows I'm watching? And hey, can you get a hold of, can you take care of that? But that is literally just a click of a button that to know and understand what their task list or their to-dos look like. So it's a phenomenal tool because I can manage everyone in our company that way. So
Are
here's
you
our
able
assistant.
to? Oh, sorry about that.
What was that?
Oh, I was going to ask, are you able to integrate? Is that calendar that you're showing? Is that Google Calendar, or is that just
Um,
Asana's own personal
well, let
calendar?
me show you something fun. It will export. Oh no, I'm sorry. We want to do that. We want to sync to a calendar. You can sync your entire list to an Outlook or a Google Calendar.
Very
And it
cool.
pops up every single day. Hey, you have this due, you have this due, you have this due.
Yeah.
Gary gets annoyed with that and he turns them off. But but it does have the capability of doing that, which is nice.
Yeah, that is cool.
So another cool thing you can do is if you have like 10 scopes of work you have 10 projects you're working on. So if we can utilize then tags, let me not get lost in the weeds, but let's go to the contractor management. We're going to go to John Smith and we're going to create a tag for John Smith. So creating a tag, he is the John, I already have a tag for him. John Smith this is his tag. Does that make sense? So the minute I click on the tag, it'll give me everything John Smith is assigned to. So what's cool is if you're the project manager and you need him, let's go to the renovation for 456 Main Street. So John Smith needs to be involved in this. So let's tag him in that. John Smith needs to be involved in this. Let's tag him in that. He's the plumber, so he's getting tagged in that too. So now I need to see everything John Smith is responsible for. I'm going to click on his name. When I click on his name, it tells me exactly what project. If I had due dates set, it gives me his schedule as to where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can manage your contractors a lot better and shuffle around where they're at, because if you're now off schedule, which never happens, you can manage exactly the timing of where he's at, where and when he needs to be where.
Absolutely.
So it's really fun.
Very cool. Yeah, there's so many different. My brain's just going all over the place of like how many things you can implement with something like this.
Oh, there's so much Asana can do. It is.
It's endless.
It is, and to me, it's fun. I'm a little.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, staying on top of it, creating systems like this. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then again, okay, so let's ignore the process map. Let's look at training. So I just hired a new VA, and this is the training. Let's even take it a little further. I have my entire employee file in here. So all employees, this is the file, like their, I don't carry around a filing cabinet, but I need their employee reviews. I need, for us, we have predictive index. So I want their PI. I put all reviews, all comments, all compliments, all in this file. So if ever I had a problem with this employee, I want to remember the good stuff as well as the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So all of those documents are housed here. All of her onboarding documents, her let's see, so her disc, her review, this was her signature page for the employee handbook. All of her employee files are housed here in Asana for me. I have it locked, so the only people that can see this, let's see, is just me. I'm the only one invited to this, so I'm the only one that can see all of this information. So nobody else can, you can't get in there. When I hire someone, I want them all to go through everything our company needs. So I have listed in here our VTO, Vision Traction Organizer. Yeah. So when you get hired with us, you get assigned this whole project. I duplicate it, assign it, and give you a due date because you need to go through these. I need to make sure you understand them. So I have each core value listed out with exactly what those mean to us. I have Gary actually giving the core value speech on video, so it's housed right here. I go through, here's our employee handbook. So here's what I want you to do with it. Read it, sign it, and send it back to me. So you have to do all that information. Here's the tax forms to be able to pay you. This is what you have to do. I need your ID, your non-compete, your NDA, travel agreements, all of this immediately gets duplicated and assigned to the new employee. That's what happens with, so our employees, some of our employees run level 10 meetings. So when they run a level 10 meeting, they need to understand some information about Asana. They need to understand how, so I broke it down into sections.
Yeah.
Each section then has a video on how to do that. So there's no question. I personally can't be there to train you. So I need you to be able to learn on your own. So this is set up and ready for you to go. And so I even then add some sample level 10 calls that I recorded through Zoom so they can watch to see how it went. And it's 2 different people running it, so you get 2 different viewpoints.
Yeah. Truly dummy proof, like across the board. I love it. Yeah. So are you guys using this for like just personal bit, like everything that you guys do? I know I saw Gary post a photo. I've got tons of things going on. So is everything ran off of Asana?
Everything in my life is ran off of Asana. So
wow.
Again, I showed you the family calendar. So for grocery shopping, I only did it yesterday. It actually got taken care of yesterday, which is why it's empty right now. But we would plan our menu, put in here what needs to be purchased, and then anything else like cleaning supplies or anything else the house needs. And then I have a VA that goes in and orders groceries and gets them delivered to the house for us. So there's no question as to what. So just, now that I've set it up, go in and take care of it. And I know she took care of it because she checked mark it complete.
Mm-hmm.
I have a housekeeper who comes every week. So when I'm in a meeting, I smile because I see that the house gets cleaned. So I broke it down by each room, what needs to get done, how often these things need to get done. Not everything needs to get done every week. Some are, once a month, every other week, things like that. What else do I have?
I've got a funny feeling you're an integrator. Am I right about that?
You are right. I am an integrator. So I have, our to-do list, which is basically my bills. I want to make sure I pay my bills on time because I'm on the road. I don't remember what comes in.
Yeah, of course.
Well, look, this is due every month. This is the actual website to literally go make that payment and it gets paid. I'm good.
Too easy. I love it.
Yeah. Gary, so our children are getting up in age and kind of moving out on us. So I put together an idea of what we want to do for new hobbies. I put whether or not we liked it, disliked it, something we'll try again. And then just built out what that looks like. So this is the information and, it's something fun to go try and do. So
that is so cool. I love this. You're literally making me realize like there's nothing that you cannot add and implement and scale through a software like this.
Yeah.
Because money.com has a lot of limitations to it. And that's what I've come to find out. Like you can only tag so many people. You got to pay ridiculous amounts everyone that you're adding on to it. It doesn't integrate well. Yeah. Boards get really messy very easily. But this is like,
well, you create your own, which is fun. So you customize it. Yeah. You create your own and customize it.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, I always have a contest going with reading. So these are the books. These are the, this is my book list. And then I have who's read it, whether I own the actual book, whether it's been purchased, and whether it's a physical book, a Kindle book, an Audible, or how I have the book. And then it's a competition as to who's read as many as between me and Gary. I don't know why. I just like to compete against him, right, babe? So then this is a content production schedule. So this is set up, what topics we're talking about, when these are due. These are his overdue tasks, which he doesn't like me to show people. But these are actually attached to his Google Calendar, which is why you'll see a time. So I can put a time on it as this is when it needs to be done by. Then it also acts as a repository for our entire staff that anything and everything they need, they can find in Asana. So when you get hired, it's like, if you haven't searched Asana, you haven't searched YouTube or Google, don't ask me. Do those things first. But this is the information you need. So if you look like, okay, for PI, this is how you log in and get that information. So it's just the stuff they need. Let's see.
So I remember Gary was telling me something about Lucid Chart, which I think I just saw on there. And so are you guys documenting just a rough draft of the system and then from there putting it into Asana, or what does that look like? How are y'all integrating?
So lucid chart is where we start. That's where we document our processes first. We have to first get them out of our head, understand exactly which department is responsible for which task and which part, you know, which part they play within that process. So if I go to, I have templates I can show you. Let's look.
How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing, Gary?
Good, man. Good. I'm in between calls here. I got to go jump on another call, but
Yeah, you're good.
Hi to you. Yeah, on here on Lucid Chart, you can see it a lot. This is like all the different client stuff we work with, but and Susan won't show those, but she'll show you some of the process maps that we give out that we've created for our own businesses and stuff. And so, like, go to the acquisition process there. Number 3.
All right, there it is. Okay.
And so what we do here is we identify the swim lanes, like we identify what departments are in the process here. And go ahead and zoom in there, if you don't mind. So we got admin, go down. You got acquisition specialist, and then obviously this.
I think it's just
oh, that's an empty department there. Okay.
It needs to be deleted.
So you know, we should show like the high level tasks. So appointment is set. We pull comps, add property, and info to the buying packet. Notify acquisitions, and then alert. You get an alert of new property. Pull and review property comps. Print the buy package. Call to confirm appointment. You know, and we go through each one of these steps, right? And so I was a part of a company that we bought and sold about 300 houses a year. And so obviously I've got a lot of experience in wholesaling, fix and flip, and buy and hold and things like that.
Right.
So part of like helping teams build out their processes is then utilizing our templates to see if they're missing something, you know?
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
So these are the processes, like these are the high level steps. These things right here now get pulled into Asana.
I gotcha. Okay. You're breaking it down.
Yeah. So go to fix it. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to put in Asana, go back to processes. You don't want to put in Asana inefficiency.
Right.
So you want to get the process mapping is all about reducing and removing waste from the process. So because it gives you a visual of like what's wrong with the process so that you can reduce it, remove it, or automate it, right? And so then from here, if you go to fix and flip.
The process map or the Asana?
Process map.
Okay.
So like I'll show you the fix and flip process, for example. There it is right there, number 10, top left.
Yep.
So like this is I won't dive into this one, but you can see 5 different swim lanes, all these moving parts. I think there's 282 steps total in the total process of fix and flip. So what we do from there is we take that, you can see there's swim lanes and there's tasks. We take that, go to Asana, and then we put, we built out this exact same one. No, that's proper. There you go. So there's the fix and flip. So now you see the same swim lanes. They're just vertical instead of horizontal. And then that takes care of the process, right? But now you got the policy and the procedure. So now you open up each step, each process step, and you write out the procedure or you record it in video form and put the procedure of how to do that step in Asana.
In Asana. Okay. That makes sense. Wow. I love that.
Now, then you take the policy, which is how quickly this needs to get done, and you assign the due dates to it based on policy. See, if you go up here to timeline, you can go up here to timeline and create a Gantt chart based on that process. So if we go over here now, I can pull all this stuff out and drop it on the Gantt chart and assign the policy, like how long this needs to take.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I've used PaperDoc, man, and it's totally different being able to see an actual visual with using something like Lucid Chart versus actually writing something down. I mean, it just, like you said, it allows you to really see the inefficiencies of the entire process. I can see how that makes it so much more beneficial and effective.
Yeah, so as a visionary of a business, visionaries need to see diagrams. They need to see a visual, right? That's why they're called visionaries. They need to see visuals. Process maps gives us the ability to see it in a visual form. Now, I wouldn't recommend a visionary trying to document it because they're not going to have the detail or patience to do it.
Exactly.
But you get Susan, somebody that knows, like Susan has every one of the real estate processes memorized. And so she could literally document a process in like 10 minutes. Like it doesn't take long. But because I don't have the patience to do that, I'm not going to do it. You don't have the patience to do it. You're not going to do it. Somebody like Susan can do it, but then when she's done, Now I'm involved. Now I want to see it, right? Like I see it. It looks amazing. It's a visual. Now I can like make changes to it, right? And
Yeah.
say, because what is a good visionary? A good visionary identifies problems and solves problems.
Absolutely.
So we can see the problems really easy in the process at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when we're done with identifying the problems, automating them, reducing the waste, we hand it back to somebody like Susan, somebody that's an integrator, and tell them to go integrate it in the business through Asana.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this. This is so beneficial.
So one of the things is when we come in to work with a client, we spend day one building out accountability, structure, meetings, the organizational structure, KPIs. Day two is all about the vision, creating the vision for a company. And then day three is all about this. We spend the whole day process mapping and building out that structure.
I love it. Wow. Speaking of, we need to get on a phone call, Gary, here very soon.
Yeah, man, I'm here for you. Anytime you need anything, just let me know. And if you want to schedule some time with me, I can do that too. But
yeah.
I wasn't doing this to sell you on anything. I really truly want to help.
I know you're not.
Like this. And I even had Susan record it so you can share it. And
yeah, for sure.
We're all about that, man. It's about value over anything for us. Like,
Go Beavers, man. That's what it's all about. That's why you guys have been able to do what you've done. I'm very impressed with it, for sure. I've been looking at this in such a complex format, and this just makes it so. One of our core values is simplicity, and this is literally like the definition of simplicity right here.
Yeah,
well, you want to hear the beautiful thing? Susan loves people enough that she can share. If you give her access to your Asana, she can share the projects right into your Asana, so you don't have to redo the work.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So
thank you so much, Gary.
I'm gonna on this other call, but it was good talking to you, man.
Hey, you too, brother. I look forward to us talking here soon in the future as well, Gary.
All right.
So you have any other questions for me?
Goodness, no. I'm just trying to digest how awesome this was. My brain's just going 90 to nothing on being able to put my entire life into Asana now.
Yeah, it's just a really unique way of looking at it. Like, yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, there's lots and lots and lots it can do. Yeah, so I was my daughter's getting married, so I'm literally planning her wedding through Asana.
Right. Oh no. I mean, I'm wondering what you don't plan through Asana. Like this thing literally
so for us, if it's not in Asana, it's not going to happen. But again, because our daughter's invited into this, we've been talking back and forth. She can upload pictures. She can put, we have the whole guest list attached.
Wow.
So this takes me to the Google Drive, and I've got that, broke down and in here, and, that's good to go. So she can add to it.
Do me a favor and create a to-do for Gary to get in touch with me so we can schedule a call right after the first of the year.
I will do.
And talk more about it.
I can do that right now.
This has just been
so
eye-opening.
His assistant will do that for you. It's Justin Peters, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll do that. And then you said not to the first of the year.
Yeah, I'm about to be on vacation after this week, and won't be coming back right after the first.
So now if I look at his task list, no, it wouldn't be his. It went to Stephanie.
Yeah.
He doesn't control his calendar. He just does what's on his calendar. So it's kind of funny.
That's the true definition of a visionary right there.
Yeah. So she got that task, and it'll get due January 1st.
Nice. Yeah. I am so excited about that. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, after probably a full day's worth of crazy work that you guys are doing.
I enjoy this. So it's perfectly fine.
I really appreciate that. And is there any way that you could email me that video of this?
Sure.
That way we can share it I can just have it on file, and that way we can share it on the Facebook group that we're in.
Sure. As soon as it's done, I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. I am stoked to meet up with Gary, talk more about this, and I'll be taking notes on kind of everything I'm looking to do with Asana, and then leaning towards y'all's expertise. And until then, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, you too.
So, well, thank you again. And yeah, appreciate your time. And I look forward to talking to you guys here soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All righty. You have a blessed one. Talk soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.